Om Sri Sai Ram, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Swami. Invoking the blessings of Swami, let us continue discussing Sathya Sai Parenting. Now when we come to peace, now the domain is the feelings. What is peace? When we say peace, that it comes from the feelings. Now, individual feelings of parents is a very, very important thing. That in the families, so we are under a lot of stress. Every person is under a lot of stress. But when we come home, what happens is, in the interpersonal relationships, when we are stressed, we take out all the stress at home, and then many a time there is some sort of a quarrel between the husband and the wife. At that particular time, if each person takes out their explosive emotions and again we come back to communication and communicate with very harsh words with each other, children will absorb the same thing. Children will absorb the same thing. So parents will have to understand that they have to manage their emotions. Only if they manage their emotions, there can be only peace and harmony at home. Now, many times we hear the word control the emotions. It is wrong to say control the emotions. It's actually managing the emotions. Now, in this world of stress, how can we manage it? See, Swami has given us a very good prescription, and that is, it can be only through sadhana. It can only be through sadhana. Only through sadhana we can manage the emotions, so that whatever stress we have, whenever we have an emotional disturbance, we don't take it out by our body language, by our communication in presence of children. What happens if the parents shout at each other, taking out their emotions? As I have said earlier, a young child takes it that it's okay to shout, it's okay to scream. It becomes a parental permission, and they start doing the same thing. What about the adolescent person? He also imitates the same thing, and he starts the same type of behavior. Then what happens in parenting, when a child screams and shouts at the parent, we'll say don't shout and don't scream. But the children see that the parents are screaming and yelling at each other. So because peace comes from the domain of feelings or the level of the feelings, the parents have to understand that they have to manage their emotions. And managing their emotions, as far as Swami's advice is concerned, through the daily sadhana, what Swami has prescribed for all of us. Now, what about love? Now, we have seen Satya, we have seen Dharma, we have seen Shanti. And what about love? We all know Swami's famous saying that love is the undercurrent of all values. Love is the undercurrent of all values. Now, how can a child know what love is? Now, children should grow up watching the correct expression of love between the father and mother. So, we are talking about love in communication. Now, what is love in communication? Love in communication is speaking with empathy, cooperation, sharing, understanding. Now, generally, what happens is that the wrong thing that we do is that in a relationship, now when there is a couple, Swami has always said that you have to accept the other person as an individual, as a being, as a creation of God. So what happens is that because we are all interconnected, Swami says that the other person is an extension of me. So with that aspect only we have to communicate. So accepting the other person as an individual and communicating with understanding and with love, with compassion, that only can foster the same type of attitude among children. Now what happens is that many times in the present day, the so-called post-truth world or the competitive world or world of competition and consumeristic culture, all these things, all these words we use in this era, what happens is that when the children grow up, when they don't show love to the parents, we try to blame them. We try to blame them. We say that children are not good. Today's children are bad. The youth is not good. They've gone awry. They don't imbibe values. All these things are there. But where will they learn love from? They have to learn love from what their parents do. And an important expression of love comes from communication. Now, the way they communicate, each word they communicate has to be full of love. If it is even if it is not full of love, it should not be the negative. It should not be the negative. Now, how that happens, we know that the words that we use. Swami said a very important concept. What Swami said, we have to remember: love is selflessness. Self is lovelessness. Many times, the big I comes in between in the relationship of parents. So self is lovelessness and love is selflessness. So when as I said earlier, when we say we consider the other individual as other person as an individual, a being, a creation of God, the concept of self doesn't come here. The big I comes. What happens is that when that I grows bigger and bigger, what happens is it becomes self, which is lovelessness. And if there is a lot of love, there is sort of selfishness comes down and down and down. How can you foster this? That is where we again go back to Deva Priti. Create Deva Priti, and then there will be interpersonal love also. The children can learn love, children can understand what is love only when they see that being expressed by parents to each other. And one way of expressing love is through communication, the words that they use. Now, non-violence. Now, we have seen Satya, we have seen Dharma, we have seen Shanti, we have seen Prema, now Ahimsa. Now, violence at home usually happens with the tongue. The sharpest weapon, which is easily available at no cost in a family, is the tongue. Tongue with the sharpest weapon. Now, very often this weapon is used in the family without any hesitation. That is where non-violence in communication is very, very important, because as we have seen earlier, children will be observing. Children will be observing each word that the father and mother uses. So each word that is being used is copied, is imbibed, is completely absorbed by like a blotting paper. So violence in communication is where there is no love. When there is no love, the communication becomes violent. Violent in the sense that there are a lot of words that are used to hurt. There are a lot of words to hate each other. And an important thing is that no two people can agree on all matters. It's impossible in the world. So differences do occur in families. But these differences should not lead to violent exchanges in communication, particularly in children's presence. Now, love as understanding is non-violence. So Swami always has said that that's a very, very beautiful sentence that Swami has said about marriage. Swami said, these days people try to adjust. They always complain that I adjust so much to him or I adjust so much to her. Swami said that won't work. He said understanding first, adjustment next. When there is a lot of understanding, there is a lot of love. When there is a lot of love, there is less of emotional outbursts, a lot of peace. And there is a lot of peace, the communication becomes dharmic. When the communication becomes dharmic, we become always truthful. Swami's greatest gift to mankind, the 5 cardinal values, can be applied to every aspect of life, and parenting is no exception. Om Sri Sai Ram.